Hello and welcome back, everyone, once again to console edition of NA Get Good. Now, in our second half, we are going to be coming up with Trash Ascending versus Mystic Defenders. I do apologize for the delay, just some technical issues. We wanted to make sure we're pristine for you guys before we moved forward. But for your casting entertainment, I'm going to be Sir Waltham, joined by Man of Class once again. Classy, how are we feeling about these two teams?
I don't know how I'm feeling about these two teams, but we've had a long break, so I am pumped. It's gonna happen. No, Trash Ascending, Mystic Defenders. I mean, it's kind of the same story as the last game, right? We didn't get a lot of info prior to this match. Of course, we could see like their win-loss records a little bit on the page, etc. But most of all, what we're looking forward to seeing is kind of the same thing as last match. Which of these teams work as like a more coherent unit, can link everything together, focus the targets correctly, rotate their ultimates in a nice way, and can just have a coherent play style that becomes apparent very quickly. So Trash Ascending, Mystic Defenders, I'm hyped for it. A lot of potential coming from both of these teams. And we start, as we very often do, on Lijiang Tower, which is of course a control map. So chaos and team deathmatch gonna ensue, but who will come out on top? That's what we're gonna see soon in week 5 of console NA Get Good.
Yeah, I'm personally hoping that we can see these rosters look a little bit tighter than what we saw on our last game, particularly in the tank category. I could use some refreshing tank discipline coming ahead as we do move on to that Lijiang, especially knowing that there's a bunch of different tanks you can play given on the maps.
Yeah, 100%. And just because we are, in a very, we're definitely not in a still meta right now as well, right? Like a lot of stuff is viable, a lot of heroes are good right now. Tanks are especially flexible when you look at something that isn't Overwatch League, because Overwatch League, of course, they try to play, as singular comp as possible and maximize that value. But in these, in the non-Overwatch sphere, we do see kind of a bit of flexibility, adaptability in the DPS department, the support department, and the tank department. All of them are not set in stone, and that's what we like to see. We like to see as many heroes as possible.
That's certainly true. And as we talk about heroes, we're going to be seeing, looks like these teams are just now going to be kind of revealing their rosters here. It looks like at the start, as we move on to this night market map, Ryan Zarya might be the flavor.
Yeah, it seems like that's been the flavor of the night so far. I'm not surprised at all. When Ryan Zarya is, of course, a very popular, very used tank combo. The main thing that's really going to be different is the support combo on both sides. Lucio Moira versus Brig Moira. And Brigitte Moira is not something we see happen a lot. A lot of AoE healing, but no extra speed boost, no boops. The utility is fairly low from its second support.
Yeah, and as we get going into this fight, it's going to look like the side of Trash Ascending going to be getting on this point first, and both are going to be trying to jockey for position. Weak Bluebird, however, taken down. That's going to mean that the front line of Trash Ascending can hold quite a bit longer. They don't have to worry about that junk impact coming in from their standard left clicks. And with this, the point does unlock, and it doesn't seem like Mystic Defenders going to be able to really get in here and defend. Jamasota going to try to pin out, runaway retreat with their team, but gets pulled down in the midst of it. And with this, the cleanup's all for Mystic Defenders.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the Mystic Defenders. Indeed, we had a little bit of confusion in the lobby earlier, deciding which team was going to play on which side. So now we are indeed Mystic Defenders, getting that first fight win, really, and getting everything up to speed here. It was a lot of that early positioning which we often see on this map, where they just set up on the points, and now he is this gigantic. They're just not looking at him in there. Finally do take him out, but already 2 down.
Yeah, and now the swing's gonna try to come out from Trash Ascending as they're taking this high ground, but it looks like they're just gonna kind of be giving themselves the opportunity to regroup.
Yeah, of course you don't want to run in with that disadvantage, but they will have that Riptire advantage now. So that's weak Bluebird going around the back, completely left alone.
Yeah, that Riptire gonna be coming out, seeing if it can find anything. Gets the Lucio. That might be enough here. As we see now these kills coming out, the Coalescence gonna be responding. The grab, however, helps to lock down that attacking team of Mystic Defenders. And now they're looking good to continue to hold this point.
Yeah, it looked like magical fishhook got stuck a little bit on that Zarya in the corner of the approach. Well, that blade did enough to distract though. Like they had a good tire coming out, but they eventually only got Lucio. The blade distracted for so long that the follow-up value wasn't quite there Trash Ascending.
It certainly wasn't, but a big shatter coming in from the Foxy Gamer. Getting a lot of members down is going to certainly stall out the retreat on the point from Trash Ascending. And now Sans Overtail going to be bringing out the blade, trying to cut apart the opposing team. Finds two, trying to chase down that Lucio to find that third. And with this has to be the fight for Trash Ascending, otherwise they are not going to be looking good. For Night Market here, they are losing members, and with this, you certainly have to think their time is up. Just the supports on, but an Earth Shatter coming in as Jamasoda going to be hopping in. Can't do anything against that Riptire, though, for the rest of their team.
Oh, nope. Big Bluebird tries, but that's not going to happen. They knew exactly where that Junkrat was. And you see it in that fight, like, finally that Blade from Sans Overtail comes out, but then you have the Moira who says, I ain't afraid of no Blade, and Bad Ghostbuster just hoses them down with that Coalescence. It's one of those things where you're like, yeah, you know what? It was about to happen. Eventually it comes out. Maybe you save the Coalescence for it, maybe you don't, but eventually they knew that Blade was coming out. And it's refreshing to see some Genji as well. We didn't see much of it last series. So now we're going to have more Genji from Sans Overtail, it seems like. Big Bluebird potentially going over to the Hanzo. But if they're going to come out with this, with the Torbjorn Bastion, that would be quite something. But they're probably debating me. I think they're debating me, but if they're doing this... No, they're doing it. They're doing it. The Bastion Torb, the double turret setup with no barrier aside from a Winston bubble.
Yeah, this is very peculiar looking for this dive. I suppose that's going to be coming in from the Winston and Wrecking Ball. As we see, it's going to be Mystic Defenders taking a little bit more of a direct route to point. Foxy Gamer's going to be diving right in there, trying to get some displacement, but just going to put themselves smack dab in the middle. They're going to suffer because of that, and now it's looking real good for Trash Ascending as they try to just barrel into point. That Bastion being taken dangerously low. Big Bluebird there with the capitalization to take it down. Mercy does get the res, however. That means that Bastion will be able to back up, redeploy himself. But the Reinhardt just putting his shield in the face. A lot of stuns coming in onto that Bastion. They're eventually able to take him down. Trash Ascending once again off the kill of this Wrecking Ball. Looking like they have this momentum to just move forward. Big Bluebird with this Hanzo able to throw down that damage onto the tank, especially now that that Winston has gone into Primal Rage. But Tanker has actually turned this around, used that Primal Rage on the 2 weak Bluebird actually getting thrown off the map, and surprisingly, the turret comp pulls it out.
That's the problem, right? They're stacking these heroes that you kind of need to focus down, and you cannot just focus on the Bastion. You need to also focus on the turret and the Torbjorn and the Winston and Wrecking Ball come back in. And they're gonna have so many ultimates built up as well on both sides that we've already, it feels like we've had 2 fights so far. Ooh, gets spotted out there. I mean, that was a nice try, but what are you really going to accomplish with that? Maybe the Molten Core was the plan? I don't know.
I think so. Maybe hit him with the tank as the Molten Core was coming out so they couldn't back out, but Hidden Ezerba going to try to get this damage in. Sound Barrier going to be helping out the side of Mystic Defenders against those dragons. But the Earth Shatter comes in, doesn't really find anything. And Lucio was getting the double boop onto that. That may have been the pullback that this team needed. The Mind's going to be coming in to help mitigate some of those losses on retreat. But with that, now a lot of ultimates used, but Mystic Defenders holds.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to push back into this. It seems like they don't have really a lot of issues with taking out the Bastion, but it's everything else that they're able to deal with. The tanks are just harassing the living heck out of them. Now the Molten Core comes out from Jake Gustavo. They're just trapped in that room now.
Oh, and Tanker's there to respond, hopping into the back lines as they get separated, knowing those tanks aren't going to be there to back them out as well. Their support and the massive bleed damage coming in from this Winston. He doesn't hit hard, but he hits consistently, and with that, we're seeing just the side of Trash Ascending get torn apart.
Oh no, poor Trash Ascending. Like, they're really trying here, and they've got so many ultimates, but how are they ever going to connect with any of them, especially if that Sound Barrier is still ready again on the other side?
And Crab is how they're going to initiate with this into the Dragons, an old school combo coming out of here, and they do take down the Bastion. They need to be careful because he does get rezzed back up, and now Jamasoda and both tanks getting thrown off the map. With that, no chance for recontest. Mystic Defenders take Lijiang in 2.
And I will honestly say that had nothing to do with the Bastion Torbjorn comp. they were literally an afterthought. Like, it was all on that tank and support play from the side of Mystic Defenders. There was just, you see this one, there's just a double boop there. The rest consistently came out from high. And just that tank play from Tanker and the Foxy Gamer, that was just... I mean, that was exactly how you're supposed to play that. You jump in, you jump out, you get the ultimate charge, then you just boop them apart with a Winston, you lay the minefield down. Like, the CC, the area control, that's exactly what that comp wants to do, and they were doing really well on it. It didn't seem like Trash Ascending had any idea of how to play against that. They never went in a direction where you think like, oh, they can maybe win this fight. Of course you don't go across the bridge. You can easily get booped off. Of course you try to go through White Room. Take that angle where you have that more enclosed space. They cannot just jump on you. The tanks basically don't matter. You saw the first time they went there. Foxy Gamer gets taken out. They walk in. They get the Bastion. Sure, the Bastion gets rest, but like they keep sort of winning that fight. But then it takes them too long. So if this trend of dive versus non-dive is going to continue, there's a few changes that need to be made on Trash Ascending's side, not in terms of composition, but in terms of how they execute it, how they path their way through maps, and how they engage fights.
Yeah, I certainly agree. And to a lesser degree, I think I like to keep in mind the context of us playing or us casting for these console games. When you talk about Mystic Defenders, they're not using those high accuracy DPS. You know, Genji, you have to land your shurikens pretty consistently, but they're using a Torb and they're using a Bastion. You can just point in a general direction, and those characters generally can get a lot of damage done. Torb, of course, that turret auto-locking on Bastion, a funnel of bullets. So I definitely think Mystic Defenders kind of just causing so many distractions and so many points of force that Trash Ascending absolutely crumbling. I'm liking this composition, and I like how they made it work on Lijiang.
Fair enough. I mean, going into Rialto next, of course, the escort map of the series here, we might see more of the Torbjorn Bastion. We might see more of the Bastion in the attack when they maybe try and do something like a pirate ship strat. We could definitely see more of the Wrecking Ball and the Winston. There's still a lot of potential for environmental kills. But seeing how Trash Ascending has been playing and seeing how Mystic Defenders have been playing, I do feel that Mystic Defenders just wants to kind of keep switching it up. They haven't really played any of the same heroes in both rounds, other than maybe the Lucio. And I think they can maybe show us some more flexibility even than they have so far. So that's a very interesting premise, of course. And when Trash Ascending has to keep guessing what they're going to have to play against, then the ball will always be in the court of Mystic Defenders.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where it comes down to. I always like making the point of, do you harness, one tool, or do you kind of use multiple different steps in a dance to kind of break the momentum of what your opponents might be guessing? I think both pretty valid strategies, but I think we're definitely seeing Mystic Defenders favor that variety a little bit more so far.
Yeah, 100%. Going into Rialto, like we said before, there's a lot to be said here for just playing the same thing on both sides, actually. Like Ryan Zarya with a Genji and a Junkrat, can work very well. Maybe Hanzo, maybe you take something a little bit more long range next to that Genji, go for the Ashe, for the Widowmaker. Could even go for the Tracer to have more backline pressure. And yeah, on the defense or on the offense, you can still run that Bastion Torb if you want to. They can still run the dive tanks. But it does seem like both teams so far, at least looking at the defense, are going for something completely different once again. It's going to actually be the Trash Ascending coming here out on the defense first. Starting with the double barrier, which we haven't seen him do before, sends over to a weak Bluebird on the Sombra Soldier, which is probably going to be having to do with we want more range, because last time we had to walk into them and they just tore us apart. And then with the Baptiste Mercy, of course, you got a lot of sustain. You've even got that res if something goes wrong, the damage boost on the Soldier and the Baptiste, and well, everyone really can be very impactful. And yeah, I'm Sombra, still a good hero. EMP can be pretty powerful.
Yeah, certainly have to agree. As we look ahead, however, Jake Gustavo actually going to be walking out on that Widowmaker. So nice looking for those early pick-offs. But the discipline coming in from the side of Trash Ascending. Have been playing this corner, not really giving that Widowmaker as many openings as they might like. However, it looks like Trash is going to be backing off for the time being. They're not really pushing into these defenses. Hack's trying to go out. They do get a few kills, and you have to think that's where they're going to start leaning into it a bit. Foxy Gamer takes the equalize just a little bit, but is quickly rezzed up by that Mercy, so you're not feeling too upset about it. But Jake Gustavo actually switching onto the position, lining up in the backline, takes down 2, and Trash Ascending. They might be punishing themselves a little bit here for not checking their corners.
Yeah, how does it even happen? How does Sebastian get there without being spotted and then gets rezzed as well? This is going to be so hard to push back into because this bridge, we've seen it before. It has such long sightlines. Sebastian can just set up and not let you get anywhere close to that checkpoint. Of course, they will have 6. They should have the time and space to get there, but there will still be a lot of tools against them.
There certainly will. Sydney's are going to be bringing out that blade right out of the start. The immortality field to counter them a little bit, but a lot of the focus is being put on this Genji. That means not a lot is being put onto the cart. The amplification window actually going to be coming out, but not proving much effect.
No, and you know that they're going to pull out the blade and the Bastion's going to set up, and you have to look at 2 plays at once, and you cannot really do that, unfortunately. And when that Genji is blading, yes, you have the immortality field. Yeah, you got the accretion on it, but no one finishes off that kill. Because both Soldier and Sombra actually lack quite a bit of burst damage. It's very hard to take down a target. You can't one-shot them, really, unless you hit a good Helix headshot combo. So, Kaido. A little bit too much on that Guardian Angel. And now they have the numbers advantage. The Bastion's in the precarious spot. They should be able to come back and just take this point back. Oh, no!
Yeah. And Foxy Gamer just going to be leaning in with the whole hog, taking that shot into Jamasoda. And now no front line for the defense puts them in a very uncomfortable spot. There is still the Soldier trying to contest, but the Bastion on the tank form might be hunting a little bit right now. Jake Gustavo still has a few seconds firing in, just weakening the shields of that front line. And with this, Mystic Defenders are really trying to lean into this attack. It looks like the Gravitic Flux is going to be coming out, but he gets stunned. Magical Fishhook does not manage to get that damage in, and the Valk coming out from the Mercy as well. Cam K gonna be punished for that. The cart's not even gonna be bothered to get capped here for a brief moment.
No, and it looks like a similar thing as we saw in the last series, where one of the teams is looking like a very strong, coherent unit, and they're able to provide distractions and create space for one another, and they are actually sticking together. Whereas defense right now from Trash Ascending, they do seem to split up. They do seem to not be quite sure which part of this comp to attack or where to go at some point. We saw Jamasoda there, went in on that Orisa, but went in kind of alone. The rest of the team wasn't quite there. And now they're going to this point. Ooh, they get that first kill on the Bastion. That's good. It's a good start.
Yeah, they're going to absolutely lead in with it, but the Earthshatter does come out, and now the Genji Blade. Maybe this point's going to be turning around for the attacking team's Mystic Defenders. Going to be getting these kills off the back end of what were, I believe, 2 losses.
Yeah, it was a great Earthshatter there. They do manage to stop the card for a bit with Sans Overkill, so that means the respawn advantage of the defenders is going to come in, and they will be able to defend at 5 or 6 fairly soon. Good application matrix as well. That's a lot of zoning.
Yeah, we're just going to see every member of this defending team trying to pummel that damage through, especially that Junkrat capable of getting a lot of kill damage. And Bluebird actually going to be succeeding in taking down Zerba, and that is crucial. Now going to be bringing out the tire. Hog not able to take a breather, but gets out of it just in time. The Mercy is there to heal them. And Sans Overkill continuing to get this enforcement done, but it's not going to be enough in order to get those last few kills, but it will be enough to make the side of
and it's really that, like these late deaths, this has been so consistently happening on Trash Ascending, where they're not quite extending forward to kill Stranglers as a team. It's 1 or 2 members deciding to do that and then dying, and now they're going to still come back from respawn. They will be back in time, but it's one of those timing things where just because you get the respawn advantage doesn't mean you can do that.
It looks like that rally's going to be going in, giving the attacking team just a little bit more punch, a little bit more bang for their buck. Weak Blooper taken down early right before that sound barrier hits from Camte. And now the defense going in hard once again. That amplification window already back online and activated. And it's just going to be the chase now for the defense.
Yeah, they will hopefully get hit in Zerba here as well. That would be a nice stagger kill, but don't think they want to dare follow up on the Junkrat. We all know how dangerous that Trash Mouse can be. Trash Ascending most of all, of course. We will see quite some ultimates coming online for both teams, especially the attackers are loaded right now, only missing that rally. going to be hard to smack into that, especially if you've only got a blade, a tire, and a graph, but they can be very high impact ultimates.
They certainly can. As we look ahead, we're going to be looking for some of those tanks, or some of those ults to get set up. The tire's going to be coming online. Is Tanker going to try to combo this with an Earth Shatter? We'll have to find out. Nope, it's just going to be the raw tire. Does come in, gets the kills that it needs to. And 3 kills in favor. Make that 5 after that massive high noon. It's just going to be the Genji trying to stall out once again. And Sans Overtail really putting in work to stall this cart, but you can only put in so much.
You really can, and you really saw no tank ultimates or that blade coming out there. We will get a charge on Kai here. That's a good start. Nice mortality field as well, Faltham.
Yeah, no mercy able to get that res back on the line. The Earth Shatter has to come out for this defense, and the Genji Blade. A lot of ultimates being used just to be sure that they don't bring out this last point. But again, we saw that Genji focusing that hog, and you think they could have focused the backlines, that real damage that was coming through.
I don't think that we're expecting the backline to still be there or be there yet. It was quite a lot of kills that come through, so it was fairly chaotic. But unfortunately, yeah, I mean, they couldn't. They were lacking initiation there in that previous fight, where they had the blade and the graph ready, they just didn't use them. There's nothing on the other side that can really prevent that value. Just the charge comes out from the Reinhardt back from spawn, which is like, you know, great. The immortality field is good, and the graph comes out, the blade comes out, but they're all like these Hail Mary type of ultimates. Like, maybe we get like 4 kills with this, we might be able to hold on for like another minute 45. Whereas, had they initiated before, had they just gone in and made their move rather than being moved upon, then maybe Trash Ascending could have done a bit longer on that defense and maybe not even have gotten the payload to the 3rd checkpoint. So Mystic Defenders now on the defense, which should be, you know, their, according to their name, sort of their forte.
Yeah.
But looking at what they're setting up, I'm a bit scared for Trash Ascending. I'm going to expect some environmental kills to come out here.
Yeah, and you know, on the plus side, if you are Trash Ascending, once you see this composition, you know it's going to be a lot harder to sneak a Bastion in here just because of the amount of walk back time that it takes.
Oh yeah, you'll know.
You're not going to get caught off guard, at least not at the gate.
No, you should know at least. So we will see this trap combination set up. No one steps into it. Good spot. But yeah, they're all set up for these environmentals. You see them on the right side there? Like, they're all ready for it. There goes the ball.
And the ball manages to get one. It continues to circle around, but these kills are just even right about now. Jake Gustavo, dangerously low, needs to be playing pretty carefully. That Widowmaker can play from a distance, though, so you're going to feel a little bit more comfortable about that than otherwise. And Sans Overtail, I believe they chucked themselves in there with the coach gun. This is already a weird look from Trash Ascending, and it doesn't seem like it's going to quite work for them. At least not these first few pushes. The Mercy Res does come through.
Gets
the Lucio out, but man, it's probably not enough.
Oh no, it's not going to be enough for this this point in time. But Jake Gustavo goes for a jump shot. Can they hit something? No. They sort of accept they're going to die here.
Yeah,
fine. But that's a good stagger though. Like, that takes a while to get back.
Yeah, and it opens up the sightlines available to Trash Ascending. They don't have to worry about that Widowmaker being as available, and that allows Sans Overtail to go in there and get the headshots with that rifle. Lucio trying his best to get on the cart, but it's just looking so good from Trash Ascending on this offense, on this push. Tanker gonna be trying to bring out that primal, but does feed over quite a bit of ult charge and for not much stall.
No, and if you're saying weak Bluebird, then you're like, oh yeah, you know, you want to move around us so we can't hit you. Well, I'll just make sure you cannot move because I'm Mei, and that's what I do. Close to Blizzard as well. Now this could be big.
Yeah, and it's looking at no. Oh, that is so crucial. Foxy Gamer gets that mine kill, and they managed to hold it. That is crippling for Trash.
It is, but it does cost them quite a few ultimates. They won't have both those tank ultimates. There's no blade online because Jake Gustavo only just switched from the Widowmaker. And there will be almost 6 online. They will have all of those for the next fight. Good dynamite to start. Wow.
Yeah, crucial dynamite. Bob's gonna be sent in and gets 2 with just the Bob collision. Mercy and Junkrat taken down. Already Sans Overtail looking to set their team up very well. Foxy Gamer in a very rough spot, sectioned off by that Mei Blizzard, and then thrown into some more ice with that. It's looking like the attackers got what they needed, and they're going to manage to push forward here on this first point.
Trash descending, adapting nicely, and just getting the weakness. It is a pretty stally comp that this defense Mystic is throwing out here. So they will be able to stall a lot of time from the clock. So yeah, that's good for them.
Yeah, Mana Class a little bit allergic to the potential for a high time bank here. As we look forward, we're seeing that Mystic Defense is going to be trying to hold this corner. They have this. They got the beat out. They got Tom K before the beat could drop. That might be the game changer here, as this amplification window does come out and the grab. Junkrat comes back onto the field, but I may have spoken a bit too soon, as this offending team now in a rough spot, and they're looking even more discombobulated.
Yeah, they got that double fire strike kill through the amplification matrix. Does 200 damage, of course, double damage through that one. And there is the blade. They're trying to save this one.
Yeah, they managed to get 2. Is it going to be enough? Is going to be the real question here. Jake Gustavo, pretty limited on that healing, does get the dynamite onto them. Bob makes a dive, and Sans Overtail may have committed that for nothing.
No, but since Overkill has sort of been this beacon of light here for Trash Ascending, they've been able to do so much damage on the Ashe. They get above literally every 90 seconds or something. Like, they'll be fine. They've been hitting so many shots. I think it's a really nice look from them. Of course, they played on the Genji before, which got a bit less value in a lot of cases. But yeah, they've been very pivotal so far on this attack.
Yeah, so far it's looking pretty good. That Maywall comes out, separating the rally from the rest of their team, but Bad Ghostbusters is going to be able to kind of regroup, get themselves collected once again. The grab going to respond into the Blizzard, meaning that they're not able to push up with those freezes that may come through. But not a lot of kills so far. One does go on to Tanker. The counter shatter coming out from Jamma does help this offensive team, but it just takes out the Mercy. And right now, Mystic Defenders are still looking good for this fight as soon as they clean up the Rhine.
Yeah, Jamma Soda went a bit deep there and trying to get some kills, but like you said, only really focused on the Mercy, and just getting a Mercy, yeah, you take out a support and you take out one of their, res potentials in that case, but and the rest of the team is still alive and they're killing your team in the meantime. That's not really a worth investment as a main tank. So we would like to see a DPS go for that play next time, maybe. I don't know.
We'll have to see if we can find it. Ugabuga's going to be dropping that amplification window, trying to get that early healing and damage in. And they're going to find it, but it's going to be a trade Ashe for Junkrat here. And now the blade in the backline. Jake Gustavo going to be going for it. Takes down that immortality field in quick fashion, but the Zarya bubbles come in good. However, not enough for Jamma Soda as they get torn to bits. And with this now, I'm quite surprised that Mystic has been able to burn a lot of time at this choke.
Yeah, they switched back to the matchup, where it's just the tanks versus the tanks and supports being fairly similar in what they can do. And then the DPS, really the only difference is, an Ashe versus a Genji. And so far, we've seen projectile DPS just getting so much value over hit scan a lot of the time.
Yeah, as we can see, Hidden Zerba going to be hiding with this Rip Tire ready to go. We'll see if they'll use it after this fight goes underway. It's looking like there's not going to be much time left on this block as we go in. Rally's going to be coming out kind of preempted, as will the Valkyrie. But Kai going to be dropping that Valkyrie in, and it doesn't seem like a whole lot of push able to be followed up with it. The grab does come out. Kai gets taken down. And Trash Ascending, and now looking like they have the opportunity. They are in the driver's seat, but only 10 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, 10 seconds to go, so they'll definitely get here in overtime if they get here at all. Don't quite get that follow-up on the Junkrat. Almost gonna hit him there, but that could make the difference in this later fight if they get spammed down. Nice immortality field, but it doesn't really stop anything.
Yeah, the amplification window gonna come out, and now that tire from Weak Bluebird also not gonna be finding a whole lot, but the damage coming through for the melee characters of this defense. Mystic gonna be looking for the strong performance here, but these kills are going a little bit back and forth. This is gonna perhaps be it. It is looking so confusing, so chaotic, but Jake's gonna help to trim that chaos by trimming the players on the opposing side, and with that, Mystic Defenders rather able to hold it.
That beta looked like a bouncy castle in the end there. So we jump around, jump up and get down. It was Unfortunate for Trash Ascending that Ascending was kind of the one thing they didn't have to do because they're already being booped up anyways. But ACJ Gustavo is getting that one dash kill. It turns around for the sure. Just a lot of Genji combos are just so hard to follow. Like, what are they actually doing? So the kill feed showing us the icons of what they killed you with, kind of helpful. It wasn't the dash, it wasn't the melee, but it was like the 180 shuriken that came after the right click. So very nice, nice performance from Jake Gustavo on that Genji. Of course, knew that they could do that. But a really big change was Tanker and the Foxy Gamer switching back over to that Ryan Zarya. That just looked like the better matchup. And once they didn't play, I mean, they're really good on their Wrecking Ball and Winston, don't get me wrong, but it felt like that was sort of figured out by Trash Ascending. So Trash Ascending got part one of the story finished, and now they need to find the other combinations for everything else that's coming at them.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back, everybody. We are going to map a 3 here between Mystic Defenders and Trash Ascending. Mystic Defenders stands up 2-0 after some pretty dominant performances on Li Zhang and Rialto. Once again, for your casting entertainment, I'm going to be Sir Waltham, joined by Man of Class. Classy, what are some of the takeaways from the last two maps?
Takeaway is that Mystic Defenders throws a lot of not necessarily unconventional unorthodox, but a lot of different things at the side of Trash Ascending. And Trash Ascending keeps having to, well, play keep up. They're trying to figure out how to break this new thing that they're throwing at us. And so far, they have been somewhat successful. You know, they Trash Ascending did come out with the May solution, and they finally broke through like the dive defense that Mystic Defenders pulled up. But they've only been able to break that specific combination, and all the other combinations with Bastions and Torbjorns and Reinhard Zaryas and Genjis, like they've all been unable to break all of that. So going into this next map of Hollywood, it might very well be the last, because it does seem that Mystic Defenders just have too many aces up their sleeves.
Yeah, and when you talk about a team that can operate under a lot of variety, Hollywood's not exactly one of those one-dimensional maps. You have a lot of points so you can kind of post up, especially, you know, when you talk even just that first point. You have Cafe, you have over that little single building area. I don't know the official call out for that. You have On Point. So I definitely think Trash Ascending, the trash is just going to keep piling up for them. So their name seems very adequate at this rate.
Yeah, potentially. But, you know, of course, they do pick the map of Hollywood, right? So that does mean that potentially they've got a very good strat of their own. They've got something that actually it might be Mystic Defenders having to adapt to them. And that would be a nice change of pace. No, if you are in a position where you constantly have to adapt to your enemy, you got to go to something that they have to adapt to. You have to figure out how to do that somehow. And this might be the way for them to do that. A lot of teams do have very unique strats, like you said, at Hollywood, which is not a very standard one-dimensional map. There's a lot of things you could do there. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they've sent up. They're going to start on the defense, which is usually where your strategy is most prevalent if you set one up. And it looks like Sans Overkill might be going over to this Echo, Weak Bluebird on the Hanzo. So they'll stick with projectile DPS mostly, which we've seen work out very well. And the Echo, with all her mobile slipperiness, and not a lot of hit scans so far having been played from the other side, could work very well here for the side of Trash Ascending.
Yeah, and as you know, the people have probably picked up, no side swaps going to be coming through Trash Ascending on that defense, as you were kind of listing off a little bit before. And, you know, it's refreshing here. I like the Echo. I've been seeing a lot of Pharah, and as a person who loves Pharah, I kind of like also bringing Echo back into that mix. It keeps things a little bit unpredictable.
I think that's the thing, right? Everyone was like, oh, Echo is just a better Pharah, which is not entirely true. Like, there's some nuance to that. But I do understand why people say it, and let's see if Sans Overkill can bring that to fruition.
We're certainly gonna see them try once again. The Bastion coming out for the side of Mystic Defenders. But this Genji just trying to take possession of that high ground. These dive tanks, these dive compositions, are going to be able to get that high ground rather easily. But that Echo can always stay just a little bit above them, get that poke continually applied, can really put that pressure onto the shields and resources. But Jay Gustavo going to have the opportunity and the time to really settle in on this Bastion. That Sigma going to be using that kinetic rest to try to mitigate it. And Jay Gustavo gets burned down rather quickly. It looks like Trash Ascending really trying to focus them down. Even the Mercy going to be falling next, but the Bastion does get brought back up. So Trash Ascending might need to keep that in their peripheries as we get moving forward. And it looks like Mystic Defenders struggling just a little bit here, certainly taking their time with this push. And Sans Overkill getting aggressive on this Echo, getting the closing kills onto that Ana. And the tanks still have not left this high ground. I don't know if I like that.
Oh no! Jay Gustavo got behind them somehow. They need to keep their composure. Okay, they didn't lose anybody. That res did come through. This attack is completely keeping the pressure up. They switched to dive. Now they know, okay, putting on their pressure, and Sans Overkill goes down. No more res available, and that was someone that was doing a lot of damage for them.
Yeah, now we're seeing the Nano Boost go onto that Diva. He's surprised he can get comboed with that Genji Blade, but the Genji Blade is going to help take out Jama Soda and Magical Fishhook tank line. Now gone for those defenders, as well as one of the healers. It's looking like Mystic Defenders looking great in this attack.
And it looked so good. Their defense started off really well. They had the right pressure and everything. But once again, somehow, Jay Gustavo gets into a place. We saw it happen on Rialto before, where they're just somehow behind them. And they just seed chaos everywhere. It's really weird how that just happens. Like, how does the Bastion get there in the first place? Like, I'm not even seeing the move. It's probably because I'm focused on other things, and that's the same thing that seems to be happening in Trash Ascending.
Yeah, and Trash Ascending, even now, still looking a little bit discombobulated. They're trying to get to the high ground. Sans Overkill getting burned down by that Genji. Hidden Azurba certainly seems to know those combinations, and now with the tank form coming out, it looks like the rest of Trash Ascending is going to get blown to bits.
Basically, it's a victory ultimate at that point. Yeah, but yeah, Jay Gustavo. I mean, we know there's good Bastion players out there. We have Bastion main going around in NA, of course, with Avoided. We are, getting close to that possibility of going to contenders. They already did in EU with their EU division. And Bastion is such a weird hero where you think, oh, but he just sets up and you win. But it's not that simple. And that's what Jay Gustavo is showing us here.
Yeah, certainly not that simple, but Hidden Azurba gonna be the Achilles heel in this comp to start. However, the res does come through, and it really seems like Trash Ascending not keeping focus of their kills here. And they're gonna pay the price for it, especially weak Bluebird taken down by that Genji with those dragons online, and it looks like the side of Trash Ascending are just trying everything they can to keep, equal footing with the defenders, or with the attackers here, excuse me, and they're just not able to succeed.
No, Jay Gustavo is in their spawn at this point. Like, he's been walking around. Look at where he is. He's just like at the back of the jail here. We'll get taken up potentially by this Sigma. No, not even. This will just be a point cap here for Mystic Defenders. And once again, like they're sowing so much chaos and discord and uncertainty that his duplicate comes out. Nowhere you're going to do anything with that Sans over to. You're going to get slept by the Ana. Nice one from back Ghostbusters. Yeah. The second time they got them with that. You know, the first time was with the Coalescence on the blade. This time the Sleep Shard on the Echoes. Great support play.
Yeah, and this attack's certainly not going to let up. They're using the minefields. They're using the Diva Bomb. Takes down Sans Overtail. That Diva Bomb just launched right neat and nice into the entry of that spawn. Sigma and Mercy get taken down almost in tandem, and this attack is going so well.
There's no defense, no chill, no resets. Like, they just keep on going. They finally lit up a little bit, so now we might see a 6-man regroup. But look at where Jake Gustavo is, already on the balcony. He's completely ready to fire on any unsuspecting defending member here. And then just a few more going up there as well in case they want to get, you know, try and get the Bastion.
Yeah, you know that the defending team is going to have to try to commit some of those resources. The Genji Blade comes out. The hack onto Jake Gustavo means they can't get into that tank formation. And this might be the turnaround. Both DPS taken down. The Sigma Grab Flux coming in as well. Foxy Gamer gets pulled out of the fight for that. And suddenly... Oh, but Gustavo on that high ground takes down Sans Overtail, either as that deflect ends or right on the blast impact of it. But now Mystic Defenders looking like they might have an opportunity here. That doesn't help with Tanker falling out of mech, however. It's looking like finally the defense has settled in.
Yeah, they want to fight. They did it. They're back to their point A bravura, and they have some ultimates in the bank now. Both DPS ultimates will be ready, as well as that Coalescence. There's nothing really on the attack. Jake Gustavo going over to the Doomfist now because they don't feel like they can get a position on that Bastion anymore.
Yeah, going Doomfist into the Sombra might be a risky gambit. Weak Bluebird going to be throwing in the EMP, landing on 5. Doesn't hit that crucial Doomfist, however, most hampered perhaps by not being able to use those abilities. And with that, we're seeing these kills come through, but Jake Gustavo, the one that he can hack, is still able to take down that Moira. A lot of healing and now gone for the defenders, and they start to lose members. The uppercut gonna come through. Reinhardt not able to keep the shield up in time. It's just a matter of clearing off the cart, and can they do it fast enough for the side of Mystic Defenders? They are looking good. They need to really push this advantage. It's exactly what they're going to do, but the opportunity for contest comes through. And with that weak Bluebird on this Pharah, an interesting last pick that doesn't have a whole lot of point contest capabilities. And now the Genji Blade from Hidden is sort of just to try to lock things up. And with that, it's looking like this card is good to be driven towards that last point. Although the contest does come through.
Yeah, not for long though. It was just Ooga Booga trying for one last stall. 1 minute 28 will be the final time. It's you know, it's pretty decent for Hollywood for the momentum they had. I think Trash Ascending can actually be happy that it's only 1 minute 28 because their momentum looked to be unbreakable. But now they're going on their attack. And I said before where I believe that most of the time when you have an interesting strategy, it's more pronounced on the defense than it is on the offense. But there are exceptions to that. You know, sometimes you see a team just come out with something completely different. So if we see Trash Ascending coming out with a dive, for instance, that would be something we haven't seen them do before, which could be very, very cool to see. But I don't know. I don't know if that will be enough. I think that so far, even when they've been able to break the attack or the defensive composition and strategy of Mystic Defenders, there hasn't been this continuation of being able to break it. It's every single time it takes them like 1 or 2, sometimes even 5 fights in order to get on top of something that Mystic Defenders are running. And at that point, you're just burning time away. So even if they get to the end, it's very likely going to be an overtime at that rate.
Yeah, I mean, again, Trash Ascending have their work cut out for them. A minute and a half on Hollywood is not the prettiest situation you want to be. Mostly, well, additionally, because Mystic Defenders did get over that 1 minute mark, so even overtime not going to be enough here for Trash Ascending as they do come out with that Sigori.
Wow, that's... Okay, so Hidden Azerba just stands there and gets killed with a weak Bluebird somehow. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. But you know what? That only means you're 30% behind an ult charge now, weak Bluebird. So you got to get that back, get that spam damage going. We'll see a Diva Sigma defense, which is technically 2 off tanks. It's not something you see a lot, but it doesn't matter if you can keep getting these kills.
Yeah, 2 tanks versus 1, still not the worst position to be in. And with this, Mystic Defenders might be getting a little bit ahead of themselves. They're going to be pushing up past this choke. Puts them in a little bit danger of getting pulled out because of those spawn advantages, but they're going to be feeling pretty confident about this at the time being. They don't take too many losses, and they're able to pull back safely and responsibly. But with this now, a good opportunity for that Junkrat and Mercy to get sectioned off, but I don't think the side of Trash Descending even really fully understand that the Ash is going to be trying to take that angle, but does not. These tanks doing such a good job at holding these angles and really putting that force in.
Oh, they know the Junkrat's there. They're not able to get the tire, but it's 1 HP. Can someone else shoot it? It's like, oh, thank God. Oh, I was so worried. I was like, that tire is so weak. Someone just hit it. Just a tire, but it eventually gets shut down. We'll be seeing this attack now being able to get in there without a tire looming over their head as a danger.
Yeah, and right now, again, we're already seeing Mystic Defenders break a lot of time off this time bank. This is so great. They're definitely, I think, trying to destroy the mental of Trash Ascending, as now it looks like they're just going to finally
you know, if the mental wasn't destroyed already with all the weird that comes through the Bastion, especially getting so much value. Oh, he's going to be aggressive at the inside. They knew.
Oh, Hidden Azurba going to be going from up top, raining down, slam dunking, and now Jake Gustavo going to be dropping these long sight lines, trying to get the Lucio. Doesn't quite land enough damage on Camk, but with this, the opening might finally be here. Sans
You're gonna get it as well.
They get Res, but the Mercy does get taken down. Lack of healing might be the ticket here for the side of Trash Academy, and they're going to use that in coordination with that amplification matrix, the immortality field coming out, but the Demon Bomb finds too. You can't let that happen, and with this, the tank line gonna be pretty much winning this for the defense. I mean, there's a lot of reasons they won that, but the tank line showing up in the kill feed.
The tank line didn't have their shield cooldowns ready, and then they ran away from the immortality field from Ooga Booga, and it's just, that's such a tragic end to that fight, because they were finally maybe making a move. They got the Junkrat out and the Mercy out, you know, good start, no more spam to worry about, but eventually, oh, Jake Gustavo, they're just toying at this point. They're saying, you know what, I'm just going to stand behind them. There's no way they're going to see this coming.
And honestly, it looks like they don't. The Junkrat tire comes out, forces down that immortality field from Ooga Booga, and Ooga Booga gets taken down. And right now, it is just looking horrid for these attackers. They need to make something happen, and quick. There's only 40 seconds left. They even want to get one tick on the board.
Yeah, I would almost say with one army, you know, because they do have full ultimates ready, but how are they ever going to initiate on this? The high ground is completely out of their control, so Bob will not be able to do much. He maybe could do something with a Flux and a halt combo, but they're even going to swap to the ball because they don't think they can touch point otherwise. And Jake Gustavo, look at where they are. The Widowmaker shouldn't be free up there.
And it's going to be Sans Overtail who pays that price for that Widow positioning. And Zerva just continues to do these slam dunks on the opposing team. Weak Bluebird, I guess, just trying to go for the Widow 1v1. This is looking so messy, and I don't think the point was ever even touched.
No, I mean, I think the Wrecking Ball maybe did it in the end there for like a second, but yeah, Mystic Defenders just completely dominating that matchup so far. You're going to see Jake Gustavo getting to play on that Bastion, was probably that chase down in street space. So you got the, yeah, so you see them over here, burst down the Mercy, then the Echo afterwards, get the Genji follow up, and then just go in the tank mode and get one, a two, well, at first the Vitality Field, of course, and then the Reinhardt that charges away as well. Like, it's just been such a game where Mystic Defenders were always on top of their game. They were comfortable playing just about anything, and it didn't seem like the understanding of how to break that came along quickly enough on Trash Ascending. They had some shining moments. Sans Overkill did a good job on the Ashe. So Gem Soda, Magical Fish Hook combining every now and then. Even the supports having some moments of brilliance. But Mystic Defenders were just all around consistently better, and even when they were losing a fight, they still had that clutch to come back in, whether it was a Junkrat tire, a Doomfist that jumps down, a sort of a Shatter, or any tank combo. There was always something left, and I think that's really what you need from a team in order to make it. And you know, they in the lobby, they're all donning this San Francisco Shock icon, and if there's ever a clutch team, I think they chose the right one.
Yeah, just continued domination. I'd say Mystic Defenders were putting on in this match. Trash Ascending. I don't know. I feel like we've just been getting mismatched games. I feel like if Trash Ascending went against 50 Shades from our last game, I kind of wonder, would that have been a more fair, fight? Because
for this time, right?
it feels like, with as much respect as I can pay to these teams, Platinum's going up against like Masters or Grandmasters. It just feels like they're not cut from the same cloth at all.
And to be fair, that is the possibility, of course, with the way the signups for GitGud console PS4 work is there isn't really that split in different SR levels that we have, for instance, on PC. So it's very possible that these teams' ranks are very far apart. And if they actually are very far apart, I think Trash Ascending actually did quite a good job of holding their own. But of course, we don't know. So we're only left to speculate. And right now, we can just see that the team play. And I think also there's some mechanical prowess from the DPS, from Jay Gustavo especially. I saw that coming out on the Widowmaker was just a notch too much for Trash Ascending today. And I think, Waltham, if you have some closing remarks.
I mean, just obviously a well-fought battle from Mystic Defenders. Trash Ascending, I like to think they gave it their all, but you just do what you can sometimes, and you have to walk away taking your beatings. But I think, fortunately for them, we're going to have to wrap up our game here for tonight and our broadcast, unfortunately. Classy, I know we like casting together, but
that's how it is.
For all of us here at GitGud, thank you guys for tuning in, showing the support to the console games. Hope to catch you guys next time. Until then, take care and stay safe, everybody.